think before that was like 150. But I mean, we're 9 weeks in. Yeah, 9 weeks in. So, well, shoot, we'll go ahead and get this thing started. I'll go ahead and do a little introduction, and then we'll go from there.
Yep.
Let me get this moisturizer off here. They'll be questioning everything that we do. All right. Welcome to the Space Jumper Podcast. My name is Jared, and of course, I am your host. Today, I have my friend Jeremy Fermo in the house, and it's a special day. Actually, we're hungry, to say the least. We are going to Houston's Soul Food Festival right after this, and Jeremy's going to get some content for his page at Beaumont Foodie.
That's right.
And so, I'm really excited, man. I'm honestly. Do you have anything that you're looking for today?
I just want to see what all they have over there because I don't know. I've eaten some soul food, but I want to see because there's going to be so many vendors.
There's going to be a lot of vendors.
So we're going to see everything. Like we'll see oxtails and all the other foods. And you know what? Soul food is very similar to Filipino food. I feel like Filipino food is the soul food of Asia. It's lots of stews. We eat oxtails too.
Really?
But it's pretty similar.
I'm looking for some beef tips today.
Beef tips? Okay.
Yeah, man, there's a place in Beaumont. I wish I knew the name, but it's over there off of Calder, or near Calder.
Yeah.
And I had a job where I worked in Beaumont. I was in sales, and every day for lunch, I had a customer come in, and he would bring me these crazy freaking dishes. And it was soul food. And it was different types of soul food. And I mean, it was amazing. And I thought soul food was just like a term that he had generated, you know, because this was years ago.
Was it Rosie's soul food? Rosie's?
No, it's not Rosie's. It's somewhere deep in like Beaumont's downtown.
Oh,
area.
so that's the other side.
Yes, but I mean, they have great beef tips. And so I was like, man, I haven't had that since I got it in Beaumont. And so that's kind of what I'm looking for today. Also, a big shout out to Brazos Soap Supply. They're actually the ones that reached out to me because they're vendors today. They do soaps.
Oh,
and different.
They'll be out there.
Yeah,
okay.
And so probably about a month and a half or two ago, my friend, Brandon McDaniels, he sent me the tickets to go to the Soul Food Festival, and it was kind of like an if you know event, and I believe it's actually sold out now. So
awesome!
Yeah,
cool.
So I'm not too sure what to expect, but I'm definitely a big fan of food, and I'm definitely excited.
Yeah,
so.
I'm excited too, and I saw that it's indoors, so it's been hot.
I know, and
I don't want to do anything outdoors.
Yeah, that's another thing. And man, this Texas weather is crazy. Have you been keeping up with Hurricane Beryl?
Yeah, I saw Hurricane Beryl. They're like, oh, it's not going to hit Houston, and now it's like it might, touch us a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. I think we're supposed to get a bunch of rain from it, but I've been watching. So Greg Bostwick is obviously
he's the man.
Yeah, he's the king, and then we have an upcoming meteorologist. His name is Johnny Lively, and he's been popping off on Facebook, and he's really. I actually went to high school with him,
okay.
And man, he's always been really dedicated with everything he does. Back in the day, he was in like FFA and like showing steers and things like that. And I actually think he still works on a farm. He was going to be on the podcast, but his wife actually went into labor early. So
wow.
yeah.
She's in labor now?
Yeah, a couple weeks ago. Yeah. So I was like, man, can't believe you're ditching me for your wife.
Your firstborn baby, which is more important. It's about priorities.
Right. Well, it was the second. It was the second one.
So,
yeah. I know.
Who cares?
I know.
It's the second one.
Exactly.
We talk as if we have no kids.
Yeah.
Most of us.
Freedom. Man, what is kids in the question for you in the future?
I would like to have kids. Yeah.
Okay.
So
I could see like a bunch of little foodie runners running around here.
Yeah, I always thought that if I ever had kids, man, they're gonna be all over YouTube. Like there'll be so much video there. I don't know about YouTube, but they'll definitely
100%
be documented.
I think that it's it's almost like a gold mine right now. And I say that because there's so much opportunity online, and if you're running a page and you're consistent with your creativity, I think that you could really do some insane promotions and people want to see that. And I think that that's almost the key when you're, if I had kids, they would 100%, I would start them out trying to teach them algorithms and stuff, because I mean, the internet seems to be have like indeterminate growth, you know?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it seems to be on a crazy projectile.
I mean, if you ask any kids today what they want to be, I think half of them are like YouTubers, right?
Right, yeah.
Like my niece and nephew,
yeah.
they're both, they want to be YouTubers. That's what he said. He wants to be a streamer, a gamer.
Right, yeah.
And then my niece, she's actually been in a few Beaumont Foodie videos with me. So she's really getting into it.
Yeah, I know. My brothers. I'm an uncle. All my brothers, both of them have kids, and I'm like, man, you really need to, whatever their interests are, you need to throw them in some type of social media aspect of it, because for one, it's another thing that this has taught me how to do, just kind of presenting myself is how to be presentable, and how to talk in public,
how to talk and
be presentable.
To people,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, and also shout out. This is episode, I believe, 35 now. So yeah,
I was on here. What you said 9 weeks ago?
9 weeks ago.
9 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I was technically the second episode, but kind of the first one.
First uploaded. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, man. I was running through so many issues. I remember I sat down and I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, Beaumont Foodie's here. And no, so, it's like a hump you got to get over, and you have to kind of really, I guess, get used to it. It's hard to talk to people. It's hard to speak. It's hard to communicate. And especially in this day and age where everybody's kind of on their phones and they know how to type, but as far as holding conversation and speaking like humans, I believe, are supposed to speak, then it's definitely a good practice, a good tool that you could use to kind of expand the way of thinking.
Yeah, even if you aren't going to go into YouTube per se, like in business, if you're talking or presenting to a company,
right?
That's all the same thing. You're still presenting, so it's all very useful stuff.
Exactly.
And you're a natural. I feel like I've watched a few of your episodes.
Yeah,
I'm like, this guy, he could talk.
Yeah, I try, and a lot of times I'm just talking, and then my mind's like, hold on, what are you saying? Step back a little bit. Let's think about this, because I think it's important to think about what you're saying, because a lot of things that people say, especially if they get nervous, is just gibberish, and
right.
There's no thought behind it, or it's almost like pressure. You're pressured to kind of fill the space. But I had an English teacher on, shout out Barry Ramirez, and he was telling me, when he speaks, he had to practice on like cutting out filler words like and like and things like that. And I was like, what do you do instead? And he was like, nothing, silence, Silence. And so I think that, being aware of what's coming out of your mouth is very important, because even in daily conversations, I'll catch myself like saying things that I don't really mean per se,
you
like, and then
talking.
I say it and I'm like, oh crap, like what did I just do? Like, so yeah, it's definitely important to be aware of what, and who you're speaking to and what kind of audience is listening and things like that. So yeah, there's definitely a skill in conversating, and when I was going through college, my goal was I wanted to go to medical school,
right.
So one thing, if you're going to medical school, that is a big task is interviews, and so they have mock interviews when you're an undergraduate, and then of course you take the MCAT and you have to do other interviews. Man, I feel like I would kill it now.
Yeah, 100%. And that's what they say. Like I never got into residency, but if you ever get to the residency programs and get interviewed,
right,
that's more important than your scores. They want to see how you talk, how you interact, and how you hold yourself up, even in like stressful situations, because they'll test you. Like, what happens if this so and so happens and you're going to kill somebody? What's going to happen? So
right.
You have to know how to think quick, right there.
Yeah. Thinking quick is definitely important. Man, speaking of thinking quick, I actually just recently changed my diet up a little bit. Not today.
Oh, nice.
Not today, for the record.
Yeah, we are not dieting today. After this Soul Food Festival.
Exactly. But, I've been cooking with, I cut out seed oils. I'm cooking with, beef tallow, and I'm eating a lot of meats. I recently had a conversation with Victoria Ferrer. I think. Oh my God, I just butchered that. I'm sorry,
Was she on
Victoria.
your podcast too?
Yeah, but it was virtual, so it was the first
Okay.
virtual.
Oh, I was just going to ask you if you ever do virtual ones.
It was the first one, and honestly, it turned out well. Everything was great, and I'm probably going. I have a list of people that are out of state that I wouldn't mind chatting with. Like there's this guy that it's really cool actually. There's a guy that does like stunt. He's a stunt man.
Okay.
On like ATVs and UTVs and dirt bikes and stuff like that. And so these places or these movies and directors and whatever, they hire him to be in movies. So like a lot of the stunts that you see on like motorcycles and things is this guy. So I was like, man, I asked him, and he was like, man, he said I would love to. Do I have to fly into Houston? And I was like, man, I don't want to make you just fly into Houston for, and it's not Joe Rogan yet, I'm like, man, I don't have anywhere to house this cat, and he's gonna want to get here and rip on some 4-wheelers or something. So
Yeah, that's going to get pretty pricey.
I know.
For you. I don't know. I
That's-
feel like if you do that, you'd have to host them, right?
100%, and that would be something that I would be willing to do. I think that Rogan is doing it excellent. He has a bunch of land.
Yeah, I think he has a whole compound.
I mean,
over in Austin.
how would you not? I mean, I'm sure he has these fighters coming out and doing like his fight companions, and he has mats for them and a gym at the house and different houses for them to stay at. So man, that's living the life.
That's
if you
why I
ask
was
me.
looking at before I came here. I was looking at more at your YouTube, and I saw that you had like your last one was a live stream, right? So it was
Right,
three
yeah.
hours or something.
It was three.
I was like,
three
he's
and a
like
half
Joe
hours.
Rogan now, but I saw, it's a live stream.
Yeah.
That's why.
I think other than that one, the longest episode that I've had so far is almost 3 hours. I think
wow.
2 hours and 45 minutes or so.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, it's just kind of getting in there, and you get in the groove, get to talking,
Yeah.
and then you almost just kind of lose time. But that wasn't how it started. Like initially we had the episode that we had, and I had a couple more after that, and it was really hard to sustain conversation for over 45 minutes. For people that you're just meeting, and
Yeah. So a lot of the people that you do have on the podcast are pretty much you're just meeting for the first time.
yes, yeah, almost all of them up to this point. Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course we have people that come back, like such as yourself and things like that. But yeah, I think that was another hurdle that I had to get over is the fact that, like I'm just meeting these people. What do I ask them? Because social media only gives you so much,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I mean, people's lives are so in depth. So, I'm also trying to hone into my skills on how to be a better host and how to, kind of dig a little bit into people's lives. Cause they show up and you have guests on, and they're not just like, oh yeah, when I was 8 years old, this thing happened to me and it kind of led to this and this, and now we're here.
You gotta get your Oprah chops and try to just get in, or like the Hot Ones guy, he gets really
Yeah,
good. But on social media, people are just showing all their highlights, right?
Right. Yes.
Not
Yes.
too many of the lowlights. So you gotta show that too, or try to get that story. That's what
Right.
I try to find.
Yeah, and it's hard to not for me personally, because I think like I said, episode 35, some of them are 1 hour, 2 hours, almost 3 hours, and so that's almost 60 hours of chatting,
Yeah.
and so
I think I've chatted with you more than I've chatted with some of my best friends from high school in the last year.
honestly, yeah, I know. I actually just reached out to one of my good friends last night. It was probably around 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock. And I started thinking about my good friend from high school. And I got on the phone. I gave him a call.
There you go.
We chatted for like 20 minutes, man.
That's true. We should do more of that.
Yeah, yeah.
My friend, he texted me the other day, and he reminded me of a story because his daughter was selling popcorn on Facebook, so his wife put it out there, and it was like $35. But I was like, I'm gonna support the kid.
Right,
for,
right.
like,
Yeah,
some
you kinda have to,
expensive
yeah.
popcorn, and I haven't seen him in a long time, and he saw that I bought it. And
Is it like the one in those metal canisters?
No, it's just little. I mean, they look like they could be $2 popcorn bags.
Holy
for
crap.
$35. But I'm
Jesus.
supporting a good cause supposedly.
What was the cost?
$35. It was,
No, what was the cause?
I have no idea. I think it was something for her school. But it's the
Yeah.
summer. So
yeah,
that's
yeah,
weird.
yeah. Maybe it's like a sport thing.
Yeah, maybe. But
Or maybe it's just,
he said he saw me buy it, and then he was playing like NBA Jam, which we used to play all the time. And I used to do this thing after I beat him. I would just like tap him on the shoulder one time, and that's it. And then every time I do that, I think he's like, if you touch me one more time, I'm going to beat you. And I was like, oh man, that's some good memories.
Yeah, that is good memories. Yeah, man, I remember back in the day, I had some good friends, and they would all come over to my house because their parents didn't allow them to play Grand Theft Auto back in the day. And my mom, she really didn't pay attention to the game as much, so I was able to play whatever, picking up hookers and stuff. But
they say that when kids play that, did you do this? Whenever your mom came around, you would just like pretend it's a good game. Like, oh, I'm just driving to the store.
Right? Yeah, that's when I'm stopping at stoplights on Grand Theft Auto. Yeah. I'm not. Yeah, it's right before I rob the store. As soon as she walks out, I'm going in like masked
Helping an old lady across the street.
Yeah. Right. But yeah, no. Those are the best times, man. I had friends that would come over and they would bring their consoles over and small little TVs, and we would all hook up on the Wi-Fi, and we would join our game, and we would just play all night. I mean, those were definitely the times. Yeah. What games did you guys play?
We played a lot of sports games, NBA Jams. This is I'm much older, so NFL Blitz kind of.
Yeah, I don't think I've played NFL Blitz. I used to play a lot of Madden, like the upcoming Maddens, like Madden 12, Madden 14. They've done some really amazing adjustments since then. But yeah, it's the gaming is another industry that's popping off. I mean, because not only do you have these streamers kind of supporting, but you have these games that are so incredible, and the graphics are so realistic.
I wish I were a gamer. Because I would definitely be posting that stuff on YouTube, because those guys are making some money.
Exactly.
They make some money.
Yeah.
And not that you do it for money, but that's like if that's your thing,
right,
then you do it. So you eventually maybe one day make money.
Exactly. And I have no anticipation to stream games and make money, but I am gonna do it. I already, because I play a lot of Call of Duty.
Yeah, do it.
And so it's like, man, why would I not? Because when I hop on now, I feel like it's almost just wasted time. But if I'm documenting almost essentially my work, if I'm documenting it, and I have something to show for it, then it's not necessarily wasted time. And so especially if you compile a bunch of really crazy stuff, and get your profile going. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been looking into. But man, it's definitely deep, because these streamers, they have the full PC that's like, I mean, $5,000, but it runs these games like a freaking charm, at like several hundred hertz, so there's no skipping or no lagging, and you have to get the right monitor. The right monitor also has an effect on the gameplay and how you see the graphics and the quality, and essentially, it's not going to make you better, but it will, if you're good, it will kind of shave off all the rough ends, So there's definitely I think streaming is awesome.
Did you ever play any like Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat, kind of any of those games?
Yeah, my brothers growing up, they had Nintendo 64s and a bunch of all the old school like original games, game consoles and things like that. And so I played like Street Fighter, I played Mortal Kombat, and but as far as when I kind of got into my interest as far as games and stuff, I love fighting. I love the aggression and things like that, but I never veered towards those type of games. I've kind of always veered towards like a first person shooter or things like that,
We're actually going to Las Vegas. I'm not doing it because I'm not a big gamer. My brothers are, they're like huge Street Fighter fans. So there's a tournament over there that we're going to go there for. And my oldest brother's going, he's going to be part of the tournament. and then we're just tagging along.
Holy
It's gonna be
crap.
fun.
That's big, actually.
Yeah.
That's big to be a part of a tournament on a game, especially in Vegas. That's big. What is the payout on the
I don't know. I don't think. I think he fully goes there expecting to get his ass whooped.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you're probably up against the best in the world, you know.
But he's good there for the experience. But I'm not. I'm gonna try to sneak in because it was $80 just to watch them. I was like,
crap.
So my oldest brother and my other brother, they're both older brothers, but they're going, and we're gonna try to sneak in.
Nice.
They're gonna have two things, and they could give me one.
Yeah. I was about to say, yeah. Just get one of those random VIP necklaces, you know,
or a media pass. I'll bring my camera out.
Yeah, right. Exactly, man. It's crazy how easy it is to kind of skip by things, because back when I was in high school, I know this is terrible, but when I was in high school, to get into these different clubs in Beaumont, they would give you wristbands. Well, I got on Amazon and I got a full color of wristbands. So I would just have to see what color wristbands that night was.
That's
and if it was blue, I would just put the blue on,
I'm going to buy some for Las Vegas.
I know. Yeah. But, and then I think they started actually catching on to it, because then it wasn't just like the single color wristbands. They started putting designs on it and kind of like real unique lettering and things like that. But yeah, as far as like Dixie Dance Hall, man, I was busted in there with free, and then I kind of got a little ballsy, and I was like, you know what? If I sold these for $10 a piece,
did you really?
And so I had kids coming up to me. I was a kid at the time too.
Yeah.
I definitely wouldn't do it now, just because I'm 28 now,
Yeah,
but at 18, man, I'm dishing out. I was dishing out all kind. I'd probably make a couple $100 a night, and just
we'd always sneak into clubs in the Philippines. That's where we went a lot. And then
how were the clubs over there?
They're pretty nice, man. I mean,
Really?
the Philippines, like we went in Manila. It's pretty much I would consider like Hollywood or like LA. Very high end clubs over there. Like it looked very fancy, but like I think who was there one time? I think Ludacris, he was there.
Holy
and then
crap.
when he was walking out, we would all just everybody's looking at him. We would just sneak in through the entrance. And
Oh my God.
go right in.
Yeah.
And eventually we went out enough times that we started knowing like the promoters and all that, so they would let us in.
That's nice. Yeah, man. I know before I moved to Houston. Again, this was probably around the time I was selling those wristbands, but I came to Houston by myself, and I was coming to see Dave Chappelle in concert.
Okay.
And he was playing at the House of Blues, or he's doing his sets at the House of Blues. And so I show up, and I'm sitting there. I'm by myself. I don't know why I was by myself, but I just was, and I just made the decision to get a ticket and go. And
It's a good show to go to.
great
You can
show.
Go to yourself.
Great show. It actually gets better. I got the regular entry fee, like it was the regular general admission. And so, again, ballsy 18-year-old, and I'm looking around, and I look down this hallway, and there's a security guard there, and I was like, I bet I could go down that hallway. So I just walk in, look at the security guard. I'm like, what's up, man? He's like, what's up? And I keep on walking, go down. Next thing you know, I'm going sniffing. I was like, man, something smells skunky. Something smells like weed. And so I keep going, following the scent, and I come into this big bar. I mean, it's like a big private bar. And I walk up to the bar, just trying to act like I own the place. I'll take at the time, I think it was a Makers and 7-Up or something. And so I got a Makers and 7, and they were like, all right, have a good day. Didn't charge me. And I was like, all right, well, apparently I'm in the right spot. So I keep on walking. There's the hallway keeps going down. It still smells like weed. And I walk back there, and I walk into this room with probably about 20 people in there, and I start looking around, and I see Paul Wall.
Oh, wow.
I see a guy named Donnell Rawlings, Muhammad Amer. He's another comic, and Donnell Rawlings is his little dog. He has a little dog that was running around, and next thing you know, I see Dave walk in.
What the
I
heck?
know. Dave walks in, and he's not talking to anybody. He's just kind of keeping to himself because he's about to go on.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God. I was, like I said, 18 years old.
Super VIP.
I'm sitting there, and I'm going like this with my Makers and 7, not drinking anything. And I'm like, oh my God. And next thing you know, Paul Wall taps me like this.
Oh.
I know. I know. He's like, hey, we're about to smoke. And I was like, cool. And, you know, it wasn't really a huge smoker, you know. And I was like, yeah, let's go. I sat down. We're in a little circle. They're passing this joint around. Dave walks up, hits the joint, passes it to me. And I'm like, and I was like, I passed it back or passed it to the next person.
Yeah.
And my hands are shaking. I have my phone in my hand and I'm like texting my brothers in the group chat. I'm like, I didn't even take any photos. I was like, nobody had their phones out. Nobody was like, and I was like, don't act weird, act normal, act normal, act normal. And anyway, so Dave went on set, and as soon as Dave went on, or you know, a couple people went on before him, but as soon as Dave went on, everybody in the room went to the family's the VIP section. So I had front row.
Wow.
I mean, like literally front row, and it was nuts. It was nuts, and I tried to go back in there and get another drink, and they were like, hey, where's your wristband? And I was like, I gave it to Dave. Like, I just went home.
That's a wild experience.
I know, it was nuts. Actually, it was nuts.
That's crazy.
So yeah, I got to meet Dave Chappelle and Paul Wall.
Right there.
And
smoke with him a little bit.
I know.
Good thing they weren't doing anything harder. Like,
I know.
You want to do some meth? We're doing meth over here.
Oh, crap! Now I have to. Paul Wall said so.
My thing real quick.
But no, honestly though, that's it's definitely, Houston has its own energy, you know, and Houston has a lot of good vibes about it, you know, a lot of good people that are involved in a lot of crazy things, you know, whether it's comedy, whether it's, you know, rap or music, you know,
And you're meeting all these people too. You're meeting all sorts of people on your podcast,
which is also a big plus.
Like even for you, if you go into like any other business, you're making networking connections like crazy,
right?
Like crazy. Have you taken advantage of any of those, or like not advantage, but
I haven't. It's one of those things. Like I'm pretty at this moment, I'm pretty all in on the podcasting thing. And, you know, I've had, you know, photographers on that ask if I want to, you know, go out and bring the camera out and explore the city and, you know, do photos, which I am 100% in. Like, that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
But, man, I've been just so focused on producing this that I haven't really had time to do anything else. Like I was telling you earlier, that I did 9 podcasts last week. And that was a pretty insane experience. And so I haven't done a podcast since last week. So this is the first one in about 5 days.
And you said you're taking a break because you were working hard.
Yeah, and it's not that I was getting burned out, because that wasn't a thing. But I think, you know, I need to, because I was looking at my work and I was like, man, if I keep putting out these videos like hotcakes, you know, just dishing them out, then I don't want the quality to take a hit, you know, and so I think that now I'm at that point where, you know, I do have 35 episodes under my belt, and I kind of have a better understanding of what I want and how I want to do it and things like that. So I'm able to, I think now is a good time for adjustments to be made, you know, because
man, that's 9 weeks. That's almost 4 episodes a week, huh?
Yeah, on average, yeah. Some weeks were 2, some weeks were 9, you know, and
that's
and
good.
so,
I mean, you can see the passion that you have for this. So
yes,
that's what's going to make it grow.
Yeah,
rather than anything.
And that's another thing, you know, it can get discouraging. Not that I'm not discouraged at all, but it can be discouraging when, you know, I spend all this time editing my stuff, and then I go online and, you know, I see somebody else, you know, obviously with deeper pockets that have, you know, it's a multi-camera setup, and, you know, they have the camera angles perfect, and the audio sounds so clear, and I'm like, man, I want that so bad, you know. But it's definitely tough, and you know, especially doing it all by yourself, you know, and trying to you know, being the scheduler, the curator, the, you know,
producer, editing, everything.
Yes, yeah, and then audio, you know, the audio guy, and so it definitely is taking its toll. So that's why I'm trying to take a step back and figure out how to level this thing up. And I haven't produced clips for I think maybe 15 videos right now.
So are you paying for the Opus Clips thing?
I was on Opus for a while. I haven't used Opus because, I like I said, I'm looking at these other podcasts, and, Opus is great. I mean, it's pretty amazing. I mean, the ability that gives you, I mean, it kind of gives me a good platform to kind of like step back and say, okay,
You do the work.
yes, I could let this program. Sorry, Larry. I could let this program kind of take over a lot of the weight, but again, that goes towards quality, and I'm in the process of trying to figure out how I want these clips, because how it's cut out is, Opus will kind of cut this square frame of my face, and then it'll put my face on top of, on your face, and it'll be a split.
Right.
And I feel like, I've gotten a lot of, not hate, but a lot of, I guess, advice, like, where people gave their honest opinion. They didn't like it. Okay. They said it looked cheap. And so I don't want to produce cheap stuff, and I think producing something is better than producing nothing, like I have been for the past 15 videos. But like I said, and I've even reached out to, independent freelancers on like Upwork and things like that. And it's just so sketchy working with other people, because I told this guy that, his rate was like $10 an hour. And I was like, okay, cool. I pay him $30 to pull clips for a 1 hour video, and 1 hour video, 2 hours of clipping, And so I sent, an example of what I do and what kind of stuff I produce. And he sent back an example, and,
He used Opus Clips.
yeah, well, I mean, yeah, probably, honestly. But he was also like, he said I could do this for $40 a clip. And I said, $40 a clip? I said, brother, I have 60 hours of footage I need done. Like I said, no way. Yeah. And so he was just trying to haggle me. I know when I'm being haggled and
$10 to $40.
Yeah, I was like, brother, it doesn't take 4 hours to get one clip, Yeah. And so, you can't trust a lot of people these days.
And sometimes the Opus Clips are good, but like you said, it wasn't. Sometimes it's like it edited a little funny, right?
Right. So yeah.
If you do it yourself, which I'd say it probably takes 30, 45 minutes to get a clip, right?
Right.
If you do it yourself, but all the uploading and editing a little bit, and but Instagram can add the words on there too if you do the caption setting.
I really need to dig into that a little deeper and see what it is that I need to do. But I'm actually off all week next week from my day job because the 11th is my birthday, and I told them, I was like, you know what? I was like, I am taking off all week, and they were like, yeah, it's fine. So
there's actually a creator thing over at NASA. I'll send it to you. Maybe you could go. But it's all about. You use Adobe?
I have Adobe Premiere.
Yeah. So it's about Adobe Premiere, and there'll be a lot of creators over there. So I'll invite you. I think it might be on your birthday though. So
hey, that's perfect. I'm off.
But I'll send it to you. It's over at NASA. I'm going because I want to check it out.
Really?
It looks like a cool event to go to.
Is it like free entry type?
Free
thing?
entry. There's gonna be like food stuff. So it's like I think 3 or 4 hours.
Okay.
There's be a creator talking about how Adobe helps you edit, and I don't know. So
cool. Absolutely. Yeah. Send me the info on that. I definitely am interested. Like,
have you 100%. Been to more creator events over here in Houston?
Not since we talked last. Yeah. But I honestly thought about.
Yeah, you wanted to create one.
Yeah, because
Listen, come on, do it. The girl was interested in doing it too.
Yeah,
right?
she was, and she actually decided to lean into being a creator more now because she was moving outside of the city. She was moving like 45 minutes outside of downtown, and so we talked, and I think she's actually interested in starting a podcast also, and I was like, if you move outside of the city, it's going to be very hard to do all this. I said, everything that's like happening, that's popular, is in the city, and so, and also people, there's a lot of cool people in the city. So,
and you could do what's it called? Not in person podcast.
The virtual.
This one is more.
It's more
closer.
intimate. Yeah. You kind of get to feel the person and kind of, understand them. And when you're looking on a screen, it just feels like I mean, it is what it is, a Zoom meeting.
Yeah,
and this is, podcast,
Yeah.
And so, and
And
also
you're a pretty perfect location. Like you're pretty like centrally located.
I
here.
mean, it worked out perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have done this. My dumbass would have done this anywhere, but it turned out perfect because it's here.
If you were in spring, I'd be like, I probably won't make it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Who's driving to spring? But yeah, downtown Houston is perfect. Let's see. Hold on. I actually just got a message. So I have a friend. She works for the sushi company here in Houston, and the sushi company is called Sushiya, I believe, and they actually provide all the sushi to all the HEBs.
Okay.
Everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and so I was scrolling through today, and I saw that the owner of Sushiya, I hope I'm not butchering that, but he actually passed away, and so I sent it to her, and she said that she talked to him not too long ago, and he said he was fine, but cancer got him. Yeah, I know. So rest in peace. Good sushi. And that's the thing with sushi. You kind of have to have, good quality, a good quality method, because I mean, sushi doesn't last long.
HEB has come a long way from when it first started. When it first started, you're like, this is kind of sus sushi. Yeah. Like it kind of like they didn't have too many raw rolls. They had like the California roll,
right.
And then now they mix it up. There's like poke. There's like
I saw the bowls. Yeah. I love sushi. It's probably one of my favorite things.
I just went to a Sushi Masa over in Sugarland, which they're bringing to Beaumont.
Oh,
and,
really?
It was pretty good. I really enjoyed it. I was like, I'm glad out of all the sushi places that this one is coming to Beaumont.
Wow.
I went to one over there in Clear Lake, and man, they put so much rice.
Really?
So to fill you up.
It's
like made to order. Yeah.
How do you feel about Tokyo?
I think Tokyo is like a legit sushi place. Yeah.
I love it.
I feel like it's one of like other people that I bring there, they're like, oh, this is actually pretty good sushi for Beaumont.
I
feel
love
like it's like top tier sushi. Yeah.
I don't know if it's just because that's kind of what I grew up on.
Right.
But I have yet to find a sushi spot in Houston that does what they do.
Right.
And I mean, it's I mean, their rolls are incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very good. And then they have this crazy one called the Dragon Roll. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Dude comes out with the, I forgot. I think it's eel. Fillet of
everything,
eel.
right? Yeah.
But the eel is kind of shaped like a dragon, and it looks crazy. I mean, it's really amazing. They've done an excellent job. And also same owners, a Korean Grill. Oh, dude, those Korean wings,
Good stuff.
incredible.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I love everything that they're doing, honestly.
Yeah, and they're like you said last time we talked, they're opening one in Port Neches.
That's right. Yeah.
Was it?
Port Neches.
Port
I think
Neches.
it's the second, like it's kind of like the spinoff to Port 09.
Yeah.
So another bar, and I think they're doing pickleball over there also, which is going to be. I mean, it's a big hit. I mean, especially.
Have you played yet?
Dude, I haven't played.
This dude lives like across the way from a pickleball court. He's never played.
I'm the guy on the balcony watching everybody serve. No, I haven't played. I need to, and my apartment complex actually did an event over there a couple of days ago, last week, and I think they rented the pickleball courts for 2 hours and gave everybody drink tickets, and so it was a good time. Like I said, I just got the drink tickets. You're
like, forget the pickleball.
Yeah, and because it's so hot, I was like, man.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It was hot, and there was a bunch of hotties there, and I was like, man, they don't want to. I'm gonna get my big butt out there.
Hey, you've been running a lot. I've been seeing you running.
I've been jogging. Yeah, I love to run. And speaking of,
you should go to those run clubs that they have. There's so many in Houston.
They're popping up everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a new one every week. They're like, let's start with, and they're huge.
They're huge.
Big.
Yeah. I mean,
it's so crazy.
20, 30, 50, 100 people.
Yeah.
There's one called Good Guys Running Club.
Okay. I didn't heard that one. Yeah.
Yeah. They meet over at Market Park. I think it's Market Park. But it's called MKT.
Is it in downtown?
It's actually in the Heights. It's right across I-10, and it's probably the biggest run club that I've seen yet. I mean, it's really it's crazy. The photos you see these people running, and I mean, there's hundreds of people.
That's so crazy.
Just in line. Yeah. So I thought about me and Larry going one day, but we just haven't yet.
I went to the Freaks Run Club last night, and that was a big one too.
How far was that?
It was like near UH.
How far was the run?
Oh, there was a 2 miler, which the one I did.
Okay.
I have some gout issues now.
Okay.
Sucks. Don't get gout. Anybody.
Really? What is that? Anyway?
Gout is like arthritis.
Okay.
But it's basically, they call it the king's disease because you get it from eating lots of like fatty protein meat and all that.
Oh.
It's also genetic. So my dad has it, but basically it causes these fine needle crystals in your joints, and it's painful. Like the most painful thing I've ever really experienced. It's pretty painful. Larry's over here. I need some camera time.
I know. I need to. He almost got a. Oh, it's hot, Larry. He put his nose right in that flame of the candle. Here, come here, Larry. Before you catch on fire, I need to get him groomed. Hey. Psst.
Yeah, but the gout sucks. I was just nobody have it because, like when there's a flare, it just causes a 10 out of 10 pain. It'll stop me in my breath. I always saw my dad like walking with gout. I was like, "What is wrong with you?" It's like it can't be that painful, but it is painful. And then right now it's subsiding. So you get gout, and then it takes about 2-3 weeks for me at least until it subsides. So yesterday was the first time I was able to run.
Holy
in 3 weeks.
crap!
Yeah. Otherwise, I'm limping everywhere.
I don't think that I've had that yet. I had a friend in high school. Shout out Michael Hall. Every time we would be on the football field, we'd be running. The coach would be yelling at him, "Michael Hall, get your ass in gear. I got gout, coach." But yeah, I have had. The reason I was asking if that's what it was or what it was is because a couple years ago, I forgot what I was doing, but I landed really hard on the heel of my foot, and the heel of my foot hurt for. I mean, it had to hurt for 2-3 months. I mean, it was just a ridiculous injury, and for some reason, I always just kind of like thought that was what gout was, but you know.
Maybe for me, it started off slow. It started off like a little toe pain. I was like, oh, that's weird. Maybe I have it, or maybe I just bruised something. Oh. And then after my 100-miler attempt,
Jesus Christ.
Inflammation everywhere. It just caused me a big session of pain. Like I was laid up for almost 3 months. Oh
my God.
It was that bad. Like I didn't run.
Oh my God.
But now I'm on drugs. Allopurinol, and supposedly that even the first year you get more attacks, which sucks. So hopefully after this year, I'm done. And then you can live a normal life, eat whatever food you want.
Oh, really?
Do all that kind of stuff.
What if, I mean, you know, it's a high fat, high meat diet. What about like vegan? I mean,
yeah, I try to do like Mediterranean, do a lot of like chickpeas and all that kind of stuff. But I from what I've seen from other people's experience, they're still saying diet is I mean, it has a portion to do with it, but genetics is going to really do it. And if you already have gout, I mean, there's so much uric acid built up in your system that you need to really lower it. So.
I see. Yeah, that would make sense.
But yeah, I went to that run
crazy,
club.
Man.
I went to that run club yesterday, and it was a lot of people. Like there was a small little bar. It was something about a skate bar or something. It had a long name, Pete's Skate Bar.
Oh, cool.
And there was a 2-mile run, and then there was a 4-mile run for the faster people.
Oh.
And then there was a train after the first mile. They just stopped us for 15 minutes. I was like, this is perfect. I can rest. Everybody's pissed off. I'm like, I'm glad that this train's here.
Yes.
So I can relax and talk to people.
Oh man. Well, I think that it's really impressive the running that you're involved in. I mean, Three Bros Running is just incredible. I mean, it's you know, and I see you on Facebook popping up everywhere. I know there's a run club in Orange, Texas now that I believe is Tyler Dixon.
Yeah, he knows you.
That's right. Yeah. And did he actually start this run club?
And he's Filipino too. I didn't even know that.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah,
I thought he was
mom's
Hispanic.
like half Filipino, half something else. And, His dad's white, I think, or something. But this is mixed. But he's like a quarter Filipino.
Speaking of, I worked with I work with him at Tokyo.
Oh,
Speaking
nice.
of Tokyo, yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah, he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
His club is huge too.
I know.
50, 60, 70 people.
I was impressed. I saw the photo of I think this was last week, and there was tons of people there. I mean, that's impressive if you're getting people. Not to disrespect any of the Southeast Texan people, but if you're getting that many people out of Orange, Texas, that's 100%. Impressive. Yeah.
I have a running club, the Golden Crown Charters. The one I started, we could only get 15 people. So getting 60, 70 people. I was like, what are we doing? But we are kind of older than Tyler and his family. Because his family, they're all there supporting the run club. And he gets a lot of people. So it's good to see that what he's doing.
Yeah. If I try to start a run club, my family would be like, have fun.
He was actually like, I know you from Space Jumpers podcast. I was like, oh,
nice. Yeah.
Check that out. He was like, it's kind of like seeing a celebrity. I was like, yeah, shut up. Yeah. That's cool. See?
You see what I mean?
Because of you.
This is Beaumont Foodie. Man, yeah, no, that's awesome. That's really cool. Yeah. Shout out Tyler Dixon.
Shout out Tyler Dixon. He's doing good stuff over there.
Honestly, yeah. Anybody that's promoting the health and well-being of people is great. I mean, there's a lot of things that people could be doing to spend their time, and if they're spending it to be healthier, that's a win. I think that's great. And, because overall, I know this is just a funny term that people throw around, but health is wealth. It really is wealth. And, no matter how much money you have in this world, if your health is declined, I mean, just, for example, the guy the sushi guy,
so much money.
I mean, he probably was loaded to the max, but then you have this freaking shitty disease, cancer, and it doesn't stop if you're rich.
Even me, like with Gal, I was like, man, I feel healthy. I feel like I could do a lot of things, but if I literally can't move. So I was like, I need to lose some weight. Tried to lose some weight.
Yeah,
so I've lost about 10 pounds since the last time you saw me.
Wow, well, we're about to gain it back today.
I know it's hard to be a foodie and trying to lose weight.
Yeah, but it's a good combo though. If it's better than only being a foodie.
Yeah. So I run, foodie, do all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I love to run. I love to eat.
Yeah. Just imagine if we didn't do one of those, the running part.
Exactly. Yeah. And see, that's the thing, man. There's a lot of food options out there, and there's a lot of things that are very tempting. You walk into a grocery store, there's literally sugar everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean it's caked in anything that we have. I know Barry Ramirez, again, shout out Barry, he brought over this beef jerky, and I had some other beef jerky here, and he was like, I'm not eating that, and he only wanted the real like grass-fed stuff. Let me grab it real quick.
Oh, it's right there.
Yeah, check that out.
Grass-fed.
No sugar, no added sugars or anything. It's just like thinly sliced. It literally looks like somebody had a yeah. I know you could give him some too. It literally looks like somebody sliced some ribeye and dried it and bagged it up. I mean it looks like pretty good jerky. I had some when he opened it, but man, it's just hard to compare the good healthy stuff with just like the fatty stuff.
Yeah, everything that they give you, and the more healthier options are more expensive usually, right?
Yeah, I bet that bag was probably a small little bag, probably $15, And
but the thing about Houston's like it's known, like it's a foodie city. It's almost known as one of the top tier food cities.
Yeah,
there's so many like cultures here bringing their types of dishes, and you could eat anywhere. Like you could travel to any country in Houston and eat. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I know that I almost had this girl. Her name is Michi, on the podcast, and she's still interested in coming on. But she owns a restaurant. It's called Michi's, and I think that she incorporates Texas, like almost like Texas barbecue with Filipino style foods.
Oh, nice.
I don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure. Because I haven't been there yet, but yeah, I definitely Larry, he definitely is. He loves everybody.
Yeah, Larry is the third podcast.
I told you that guy came in and viewed the studio here, the guy that has that big
real estate?
yeah. So he comes in and so he actually honestly probably in a couple weeks he'll probably release the video that I did, but he walks in and I'm like, I show him the studio and I'm like, hey, my name is Jared, this is Larry, and we host the Space Jumper podcast.
That's true.
But honestly, I got kind of nervous because it was the first big account, like the first huge account that I was kind of communicating with, and
so he shot a tour of your apartment.
yes,
studio?
yeah, he comes in here and views everything, and I had my apartment spotless too. It was just it was like it looked great, but yeah, he walks up and he'll go, hey, how much are you paying in Houston, Texas? And I'll tell him, yeah, and then he'll be like, "Can I view your apartment?" And I'm like, "Absolutely."
I think I've seen their stuff.
Yes,
I've seen that.
yeah, and
some
so
people are paying some crazy amounts. They're
ridiculous.
like $5,700 a month. I was like, "What the hell?"
I know. Yeah, I think there's another food reviewer in downtown Houston. I actually forgot her name, but I think it's like Maya something. But he walked up to her recently. He was like, "Hey, how much do you pay in Houston, Texas?" She was like, I pay $4,800, and I was like, "Oh my God!" And he was like, "What do you do?" And she's a physician's assistant, and she runs like a million following page. Like,
Wow.
yeah, so she's probably making excellent money.
Yeah, man, good for her. Good for them. Good for
Yeah,
her.
yeah.
I want to be that.
Yeah, I know. Honestly,
I'll take a $2,000.
exactly. I know, and I see Rogan's $500 million dollar deal, and I'm like, I just need like like 100th of that, like maybe less.
Oh man, speaking of that, I had a company reach out to me. They're like, we want you to. It's a very local place, like grocery store
Gotcha.
in the area. You probably know it.
Maybe.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to say their name, but they're like, we want you to create content. We want you to go to our store, pick out some food over there, and then go back to your house, cook it, and then eat it. And we want you to create content, and then will you work with us? I was like, okay. Well, I charge this much. She's like, oh, we were thinking of giving you a gift card. I was like, what? A gift card for all that work?
How much is the gift
They
card?
didn't even say. They didn't even say. I was thinking, how much would they have given me? Like a $20 gift card for all that work?
Yeah, maybe you should ask them. I think probably wouldn't be a bad deal if they're giving you a $500 gift card to get $200 worth of grocery, or even $100 worth of groceries that you're going to be using to cook.
Yeah.
I think that's a win, because you stock your fridge and
They are. Yeah, that's true. But I was like, I want some money.
Yeah, money is definitely
I
good.
want money.
Yeah, but
I thought they were big enough they could actually pay.
yeah, and that's the thing, man. These big corporations and even just big stores in general, they could afford it, and if they want good quality content, you got to pay for it, or because everything costs. You're walking around with a several $1,000 camera.
Right.
You're walking around,
audio.
you got to edit, and I'm finding out firsthand that it's not easy to edit. It's not easy to make these things look great. You go to YouTube and Instagram, TikTok, and you're scrolling through all these things, and this content just it flows so well. It has a good attention grabber, and the flow of the video is good, and you sit there and you watch the whole thing, and you're like, whoa, I could do that. Yeah. And then you do it, and you're like, oh my God, what kind of witchcraft are they using to produce this stuff?
It's like graphic design. We pay graphic designers for our logos for Three Boys Running Company. I'm like, it's so easy, I could do it. But then I tried the programs. I was like, man, I just paid the guy $200.
So can you put me on your graphic designer guy?
Yeah.
I need some work. I need a logo, and I am looking to order, maybe some clothings and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I'll tell you. He's local. He's a local artist over in Beaumont too.
Oh, so. Cool. Yeah, that would be perfect. Yeah. I've been looking for somebody I need, maybe like a logo to put on the bottom of the screen for, on the YouTube videos and things like that.
He does a lot of murals too.
Oh, really? Okay.
He's pretty good. He also gives you like for us, he gave us two options. He was like a cheaper option where I'll work on it, but it won't be like as intense as the more expensive. Like it was like $100 versus $250. So
Gotcha.
What you wanted to pay?
You went with the 250?
I went with the 100.
The 100.
But I think
you were happy with
I just wanted
work?
to see how it was. I've seen his other work which I think that the 250 would probably be worth it too. But I wanted to see initially what he did.
Right. Well, the reason I ask is because there's a Instagram page that I reached out to, and they specialize in the creation of logos and things like that. I mean, they do some really immaculate work. And when I reached out, they said, they could do it. They'll send 4 or 5 options, but it's around $800. And I was like, oh, man, that's rough. Like, and obviously I didn't have $800 to spend on a logo, but it's definitely you got to pay for people to do the work,
and if you want good work, you got to pay.
Exactly. So, and I'm not against spending extra on things. I'm not against, also, is your camera plugged in? I just want to
it's plugged in. It's charging that's a charger for it.
Okay. I see. Is it a black charger?
A power bank. Yeah.
Is it plugged in?
No, I mean it has power in there.
Oh, okay, okay. Is that? I see prongs on it too. I thought it had to be plugged in. That's really nifty. Yeah. Is that prongs? Are those prongs on the side?
They're prongs. So you can charge it in the wall charger. And then,
is that a Mophie?
No, I don't even know what it is. Something off of Amazon.
Ah, okay. That looks nifty. It looks nifty as I don't know. I mean, that's nice. You would have tricked me. I would have been like, dude, that's not plugged in.
It's Wi-Fi.
Yeah, right. But yeah, no, it's definitely an interesting time to be a part of this creator group, and just because there's so many, and everybody considers themselves.
And there's also like AI options. Have you ever tried AI like Facebook to create a logo? They're pretty good, but like you'll put Space Jumpers podcast and they'll misspell it on there. I was like, I can't even use this.
Yeah, right.
So
right.
I told my brother, I was like, we should learn graphic design like every day. Just editing was hard at first, but if you learn
Are you editing your own videos?
I edit all my videos.
Wow, they look great, man.
I'm a really quick editor. I've been doing it for so long that I could quick.
What do you work? Are you working on Adobe?
I use DaVinci. I used to do Adobe, but I don't want to pay the monthly subscription fee.
Yeah, I know. I did the year, and I'm like, oh crap. Like,
what is it now?
I think I paid like $250.
Okay, not too bad. Not too bad.
But
yeah.
It's $250. You got to pay it next year too.
Yeah, that's the problem.
So yeah,
compared to free, DaVinci Resolve, I feel like is really a powerful system.
I heard DaVinci was excellent. So I'm looking into it. In $250, to figure out if something doesn't work is fine with me. It's a trial and error thing. Yeah. So if I need to move to DaVinci, I would. But yeah, I'm interested in the Adobe thing next week because I think that I 100% have a lot of room for growth as far as editing. Just because it's so in depth. But yeah. It's a complicated little system, and the more that I dive into it, and the more that I dive into podcasts, and the more that I dive into talking with people who are involved in the creator, I guess almost like an era. But
yeah, do you think that the creator area is growing now, or has it reached its peak and it's on the decline? What do you think, or it's like on a plateau right now?
It's increasing. I would say it's increasing. And, and maybe that's just my personal perspective because I'm just now getting into the space. But if I had to guess, there's definitely always room for growth.
Yeah. I think more people now are watching YouTube compared to even TV. Like I watch a lot of YouTube. That's where I go to. I'm sure TikTok and all that too. But
right.
I think YouTube is more like I find a lot. You find a creator that makes some good stuff that you're interested in. And there's so many. There's so many options.
A lot,
that you can find a new one every day. But once you get one that creates stuff like a podcast or something,
right?
I'll be listening to you guys on my lawnmower when I mow the lawn. And
it. There's a lot of applications for creation, and different target audiences. And I don't even know if. For me, I love listening to a long podcast, especially if I'm driving or something.
100%.
But there's also a huge advantage in making small reels and small clips, because, if you do go to TikTok, it'll pull up a 15-second video and it'll just keep on replaying. You flip up or scroll up and it just instantly plays the next video. And I mean, you could go through all kinds of content in in 5 minutes, you know, and
even this podcast where we're talking, I'm like, this part would be a good short.
Exactly.
This
Yeah.
part would be
Right. Yeah.
a good reel.
I haven't trained my mind to do that yet. I just, you know, cause I was trying to focus on just being able to talk, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, I think I'm just now getting into that point where I'm like, oh, you know, that was good, you know, but, there's a lot of parts in a long podcast, especially an intro podcast, that don't go well, you know, that sound ridiculous, or the host, you know, for example, myself, is not hosting very well, you know, and so there's definitely ways to go about fixing these problems. So like I said, 9 weeks in, this is the 9th week, and I feel a lot more confident talking. I don't know if you could tell, I just feel it's better, you know, and I was,
you're more polished with everything.
Yeah,
like now
exactly.
Now you have an intro.
I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah, the intro was definitely, you know, because I went to work and I told my boss, I was like, hey, I started a podcast. And this was what I had just had like 2 or 3 episodes. And he was like, oh, I'm going to watch it. And he watched it. And the next day he says, hey, why aren't you not introducing these people? And I was like, he said, I didn't know who you were talking to. And I was like, oh, okay. All right. Well, it took me a minute. I was kind of like, forget this guy, you know? And then I was thinking, you know, I probably actually need to start listening, you know? So, you know.
Yeah, that's the way it's a learning process. And the more you do it, the better you get. See?
Right.
And you just jumped right into it. You jumped into it.
And
you went deep dive.
Yeah, we dove deep. Yeah.
You went to the deep end.
It feels good though to say you're going to do something for so long and then do it. You know, it definitely, you know, I think a lot of people, and you know, even myself in the past, have said, "Oh, I'm gonna do this, and I just never do it."
Yeah,
and it's like, man,
the hardest part is starting.
Hardest part is starting. Yeah, I got a tattoo right here. It says "Talk is cheap"
there you
right
go.
on my arm, and so I was like, you know what, talk is cheap, you know, and
like everything. People say I can't be a runner. I can't join a running group because I'm not fast enough.
Right.
Like, just go out and do it. Just do it and start. You'll get better.
Yeah,
you might suck now, but you'll get better.
You definitely get better at whatever it is that you may do, you know. So I think that's the beauty of life, though, and a lot of people are going through the motions and not really pursuing things that they truly want, and I think it's a real disadvantage to the world, you know, because if more people did what they wanted to do and excelled at it, you know, if they're passionate about it, you're going to obviously excel. And I think, you know, we would be in a much better spot, you know, and there's a lot of anger these days, you know, even when you get on the roads and there's people that
especially in Houston.
Yeah. The people are dissatisfied, you know, the angriest time to get on the road, it is unfortunately the most cluttered. And, you know, it's because people are waking up at 6 in the morning to go to their job at 7:30, and they sit down and they hate it, you know, and I've been one of those people, you know, I wake up and I going through the motions and doing things that I don't want to do. And one day, oddly enough, I had an experience and I was just like, you know, I am not like, yes, I will continue. I will continue through life as, you know, because I've already built myself up to where I'm at now. Mm-hmm. Now I need to make adjustments and start doing things that have
level you up more.
Yes, that has purpose in my life. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, I went from a couple jobs that I wasn't happy with, and you know, made the move and into careers that aren't miserable, you know, and even people having, you know, girlfriends or friends in your life that are kind of toxic, you know, get rid of them, and unfortunately, and just kind of live for yourself. And so, man, I you know, not to toot my own horn, but I feel I'm pretty proud at how far we've come, because, you know, a couple years ago, I would have never seen myself, not even with the podcast, not really has nothing to do with the podcast, more of like a personal development, you know, and personal growth, because, you know, this world could be brutal. You know?
It can be. Yes, you have to live for yourself too. Like,
right.
Sometimes it's good to, you know, think about your other people, but
sure,
if you want a healthier mindset, you got to think of yourself too. 'Cause
Right.
you can't forget. Some people forget about themselves, like they live for their kids or wife, but which is great. But
It's great, yeah.
You gotta if you want a better, healthy mentality, you got to think about yourself and how you're doing too. So it's
Right.
good what you're doing, and you know, I'm proud of you, Jared. This thing is
Well, thank you,
an
sir.
awesome podcast.
Yeah. Well, we're getting there. We're in the process of leveling up, and that's just I guess that's just really what you need to do. I mean, people like, you know, I told you I'm a big fan of cars and things like that. You get a car, and this is like your car. You, as a car guy, you want to upgrade your car. You know, you want to put an intake on, an exhaust. You know, maybe a new hood.
He has like 3 more lights than he did last time.
Yes, yeah, more lights. I have 2. You know, I have a full setup for four guests. So next time you could represent 3 bros running.
I'll bring my brother out here.
Yeah.
There
And
you
so, yeah, we have room now. So, and that's the thing. I would have guests that come over and they're like, oh, you know, can I bring this person or can I bring this person? And I'm like, well, look, I only have one mic, you know, and so people wouldn't even ask, and they would just bring somebody, and that person would be expecting to talk or whatever, which I wouldn't mind.
You have to share the mic somehow.
Yeah, and so they would just, you know, kind of sit behind the curtains over there, and it was just it wasn't right, you know? And so it, but yeah, now we're battling that with the extra mics and things like that. So, the lighting is also a hard part. You know, I had the guy named Cringe. He's like an underground rapper here in Houston. And he has a real production like mind, and he comes in and he's just like looking at the lights. And I was like, "Hey, everything good, brother?" And he's like, "No."
He's changed it up for you, huh?
He's like, "You need to change this and this," and he said, "You need to kind of adjust the intensity, and more is not always better, you know." And lighting is its own skill, and there's a science behind it that I was not aware of until then. So
yeah, I'm not very good at lighting myself. So
yeah,
I need to work on that.
It's definitely a trial and error type thing. I mean, you have to, as far as, because here's the thing, you know, each one of these lights, it can extend. It can extend up and down. You could change the intensity. You could change the actual color of the light.
Right.
Like, for example, like intensity, you can put more white. Yes, put more white light into it, and it's really crazy. And so positioning and intensity and the color pattern of the LED lights definitely play a big role. I don't know if you know this or not, but LED lights, the wires, actually have a lot of dirty electricity.
What does that mean?
So it has something to do with like the physics of the current running through the wires, but LED is very dirty in a sense that, like, for example, this wire, for example, that's running straight to the mic, if I were to touch it to an LED wire, like maybe this one.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I hear that.
Yeah. And so
that's what's causing some noise, some feedback.
Yes, and so I had to learn that the hard way.
Oh, wow.
I was digging and
What's
digging
going
and
on with
digging.
my sound?
I know. I moved. I made a move. Like I moved the
crazy.
table just a little bit, and yeah, not that one. It's going to be the one that's connected to the. Yeah.
I do hear something though.
Yeah.
It's like a little staticky.
Yeah. Oh. Hold on. No, that was the wrong wire. You got to use the white.
Oh,
one.
that's there. You go.
Yeah. Kind of, you could kind of hear it, but I think it has something to do with like the direction of the current, because you know.
Is that what he told you? He told you about the dirty.
No. This is something I had to figure out myself. Yeah,
What's this noise?
Well, no. The term "dirty electricity" I got from, I don't think it's a new term, but I got it from my friend Harrison, because he grew up playing the guitar and all kinds of stuff, and so he was like real big into like sound equipment and stuff like that. So I was telling him, I'm like, dude, I am having the craziest feedback in my mics and I can't figure it out. And he was like, do you have LED wires near you? And I was like, yes. Turned out that's what it was. But, you know, yeah, and just to, I think I skipped over the explanation. Apparently, so, you know, there's a power and a ground running through this, and the power wire, the current that's running through this LED wire is it's kind of hard to explain, but there's the wire and there's the actual current that you can't see that's rotating around this wire. And so when you feed that through and touch it to like something that's taking like a recording, there you go. Yeah, it's kind of doing it. It'll pick it up and kind of make that sound. But yeah, it's definitely it's complicated. There's a lot of complex things that are in this world, and not just with sound, but we were talking about the human body, and the human body is complex too.
The human body is crazy. Yeah.
So I think that it's definitely, life is crazy. I've been saying that in every episode, by the way. Life is crazy. When I get to like episode 100,
Space Jumper.
Yes, life's crazy.
Right here.
When I get to like episode 100, I just want to put all of my life is crazies
together.
Yeah, life is crazy. Life is crazy, man. Life is crazy.
For all my exes, I always say peace out. So one year I did that for everything. It was like peace out, peace out, peace out.
Nice. Yeah, that's another one. And unfortunately, you have to kind of split ways with people, and because people will bring you down, and everybody, I think the best relationship feeds off of two independent people that share same goals, the same goals and things. And I have yet to find that. I've been running into people that have completely opposite goals than me, and when that happens, there's a lot of, disrupted thoughts, a lot of things that you should be focused on that you're distracted with, and so, life is crazy.
Life is crazy. Life is crazy.
Well, Jeremy Fermo, you want to, I guess we could probably start working on closing this thing up and go into the Soul Food Fest.
Sorry, I'm getting a little hungry, so we can do that. But I do want to say we are the Three Bros Run Company. We have our 2 races that were coming up. One race is coming up, the Nature's Labor Day 5K. Ooh. Actually, appropriate colors that I'm wearing today because it's like a Labor Day.
America.
So we'll have that coming out September 2nd.
Wow. And you said it's a 5K?
Yeah, 5K is in Port Neches.
Oh.
And yeah, you come down.
I may.
Come
down. Just out of curiosity, just so I know, are dogs allowed to run in 5Ks?
That one you can't bring your dog.
I can?
The orange one you can't.
The orange one. What's the orange one?
Orange one's the big pumpkin run. That's October 5th.
Okay, and these are events that you guys are hosting.
That's the ones we're hosting.
Wow. Well, now I feel like I have to go.
Yeah,
I'll do it, dude. I'll do a 5K.
People will be like, "Hey, you're that guy from the podcast."
I'm over there. Yeah, and that's me.
We actually hide 3 pumpkins or watermelons on the course and pumpkins on the course. So if you find them, pick them up, and finish the race with them, you get an extra prize.
What?
We're trying to make it more interesting.
That is interesting. Yeah. That's so difficulty.
Cool. I think one kid was sad because we try to make not hold the watermelon the whole time.
Yeah.
So we told our volunteers to hide them because it's a loop course. Like, don't let them pick it up on the way there, only on the way back. So a kid saw it and we're like, sorry, you can't pick it up. So he was very upset with us. You didn't want to carry a 12-pound pumpkin for 3 miles.
Yeah, I say let him. Let him.
So we gave him a prize anyway, but he was pretty upset at us.
Nice. Yeah. I think that's actually a really awesome way to get people more involved, and I would carry a pumpkin.
Carry a pumpkin.
Definitely carry a pumpkin.
Actually, pumpkin is lighter than a watermelon because watermelon is full of water, right? So the pumpkin has a large hollow center.
Oh, yeah.
So the watermelon is a lot difficult. We actually did a 5K, the Bud Heat Wave last week, or this July 4th. We ran over there. Willie and I.
Is Willie your brother?
Willie's my brother.
Shout out Willie.
We switched the watermelon every single time.
Nice. That's smart. Yeah. Almost like a farmer's carry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be fine. Farmers carry the whole way.
Ooh, yeah. I remember I used to go to CrossFit Beaumont. Also, shout out CrossFit Beaumont. CrossFit Beaumont. Yeah. I love CrossFit Beaumont. Erica Reeves, she's now the owner of CrossFit Beaumont.
And you should have her on this podcast.
I know. I've asked her, and she just there's some conflicts in driving to Houston because she has a family and things like that, which is understandable. But that's actually another update that another way of leveling up the podcast that I'm doing.
You're having a baby.
Yeah. Oh, no. Well, maybe, I don't know. No. God, I hope not. No, I'm actually bringing it mobile. It's gonna be it's gonna be a mobile podcast also. So for people that can't actually make it to Houston or make it to the studio, I'm going to go to them, and so I already have another a table. Of course, I have all my equipment here.
So you're gonna bring a table to wherever they're at,
and completely set up. So I'm just trying to figure out how I want to do. Like I want a little bit of this, not
you might
this.
be able to bring this
And see, yeah, and that may be a possibility, but I'm trying to figure out how to incorporate that. But yeah, that's really the only thing that that I need to do, you know, because I got the curtains. I'm gonna set.
So where would you set up, like in their office, or?
Well, if like for example, CrossFit Beaumont, I would set up in their
gym.
In the gym, yeah, and we would just run the podcast from there. I have a guy out
Libraries
in Austin.
too actually allow you to do free, like use their rooms for free.
Oh,
we went to Port
really?
Neches the other day, and their library was like, you can use this room anytime you want. Nobody uses it. Set up your cameras and everything,
Wow.
and it was free. I was like, oh, we might do that.
Yeah,
'Cause we have a
honestly.
podcast, but we haven't put out an episode for Three Bros in like a year. So we're not as good as Jared.
Well, I just like I'm the opposite. I haven't ran in a year, so no, I've been running, and man, it's such a run. It's such a healthy pastime. You know, once you put your headphones in your ear and you get on a nice run, and it's just another feeling. You know, I mean, it just feels
I even
so
like
healthy.
the hot weather now. Like something about sweating and just dripping sweat as you run is like you feel like a badass. Even though you're not going super fast, but you feel like you're putting your all in.
Exactly. So. Yeah, and people see you and they're like, man, they're working hard, you know.
Yeah.
and that's another thing. Yeah, I've been running over here in Houston, and I'll pass up these restaurants, and I'll see people looking out the window, just like looking at me while they're just chowing down. I'm like, yeah.
Do you run shirtless or you keep a shirt on?
No. I keep a shirt on. I will, and I am probably confident enough to run shirtless, but
I'm a big proponent.
I'm almost there. Yeah.
Run shirtless. Like if the skinny mini guys could do it, the bigger guys like me, 250, I need to run with my shirt off even more than.
You have a girlfriend though,
guys.
right?
I do have a girlfriend.
Yeah. See, I don't got a girlfriend yet. I don't want to scare them off. You know.
Hey, maybe some people like that. You know,
I guess
they like all types of bodies. You never know.
Yeah.
And you could inspire somebody. I remember I was wearing a shirt during one of my YouTube videos. It was hot.
Right.
Like, hey, I thought you took off your shirt. You're the reason I took off my shirt. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it again.
Oh, nice and
I
inspiring.
did gain some weight.
Man, they see me and they're like, man, that man looks like he just came out of hibernation.
Nah, I don't think so. You'd be surprised how people you inspire. Just going out there and doing you.
I need to incorporate more weights in my workout too, because you know, I actually dropped some weight, but I'm nervous because I'm dropping weight. You know, I'm running and stuff, but I'm not hitting weights. And
you said you went to that Houston gym. Is that the one you go to, or
so
that one?
I've tried
closer,
a couple.
Right?
I've tried a couple. There's a gym called EOS, and there's a lot of fitness influencers that work out there.
Right.
And I mean, it's a pretty good quality gym, and it's right there on Memorial. And so I went there for a while, couple months, good price. I think it's like for the black membership, it's like $25 a month or something. Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous.
That's
it's always full though. I mean, no matter, it's 24 hours, no matter what time you go in there, there's always like some crazy fit people like videoing their butts as they squat. I mean, it's packed. But
I just be watching. Not that I'm the creep guy, but never mind. I'm not even saying anything anymore.
Hold on, what now?
Get me canceled already.
So that was so I went to EOS and actually, you know, while I was at EOS, I did, there was a girl over there, and I mean, she wasn't wearing but a some panties pretty much. And so, you know, I'm not looking, I'm just looking because she's
glance.
Well, here's the
Human
thing.
nature, almost.
She's doing squats. She's going down, and then she's going up, and she's going, she'll get up and she'll go, and it's like,
you gotta look at that.
I mean, everybody was looking. I was like, man, what the heck? And here's the thing. She has the camera facing, she has one camera facing her butt, the other camera facing this way.
Oh my goodness.
So she could see everybody who's looking. So you see everybody going like this, like like
Don't get caught.
exactly. And so
Wow, that's crazy.
yeah, it's an intense gym. So anyways, I went from there, and then I have a membership at Hot Works. Yeah, I got a membership at Hot Works. I love Hot Works. Hot Works is awesome. That's another place where you could sweat like a maniac.
That's sweaty.
And then for my weights, there's a gym right across the street from the studio here that's called Oak Fitness. Oak Fitness actually just had their first run club last week.
Oh,
by the way.
geez.
Yeah, I know.
There we go.
I know. So,
Run Club.
yeah, I now I'm at Oak Fitness, and it's more of like a brute gym. It's like there's not really anybody in there that's like doing influence and stuff. But you go in there and people are throwing up heavy weights and they're pretty serious, bodybuilding suckers,
I like that kind of gym. You
Yeah.
feel very like you lift heavy too.
Yeah, and it's like home. It's like it feels real raw. It's not like you have to.
Is there AC
like,
in there at least?
There is AC, yeah. And so,
I like checking out different gyms. That's why I used to have a membership. Blue Cross Blue Shield used to have this membership where you could go to any gym. But they just canceled it. They just like this month was the first time you're like you had to pick one gym, and now you can't go to the other gyms.
Man, I hate insurance.
Point.
Yeah, I hate insurance. I hate insurance so much. I mean, it's such a scam. Yeah, and I have good insurance. Yeah, I work in medicine, in the medical field, and recently I went to the doctor or something, and they were giving me some options for some things, and insurance didn't cover anything except the pills, and it was like pills that'll jack you up pretty much, like uppers. And I years ago I was prescribed Vyvanse, like back in undergrad, and it did not sit well with me. I turned into like a different person. I just almost like became this heartless human, you know. And it's just I'm not a big fan of medicine. I'm not a big fan of medication and things like that. Or at least for me, because I don't have ADD, or maybe I do, but it works for me if so. But yeah, you gotta be careful. If your insurance is only providing you things that you don't need, things that don't benefit you. I went to the doctor, and actually this specific time, I went in and I was just going in for a checkup, but I was waking up early at like 4 a.m. and running, and I went to work, and then after work I went to the checkup, and he was like, "Hey, you're a little overweight," and I was like, "Yeah," and he was like, "I could prescribe you antidepressants," and I was like, "But I'm not depressed."
Yeah, that's an odd thing.
And he was like, "Well, it'll help you lose weight," and I was like,
I don't get
good.
that.
Yeah, I'm good. I have trust issues.
That's when you need a doctor. Even my girlfriend has problems with doctors. Like
right, yeah.
She just switched to new one, and they're just not doing what
yeah, and it's such a pain.
And it's hard to find a good one.
Yeah, and it is such a pain because if you're with one, I guess, facility, then it's so. I mean, you have to provide your COVID vaccines. You have to provide all of your medical history to a new facility if you decide to change. It's just there's a lot of like hoops to jump through, and it's kind of ridiculous actually.
Dentist too, man. I went to this one dentist. My brother's like, "Don't go to him," but I went to him anyway. And man, he did so many like root canals and got me all these things. Like I'm not sure if I ever needed any of those.
Oh,
like I got crowns everywhere, and then the crown kept falling off like month after month. It would fall off every month for like almost 2 years. It was the worst. I like knew everybody at the office because I went there so much.
Wow.
And then finally I switched to a new dentist, and he's been awesome. Like
holy crap.
He's like, "Oh, I won't charge you this much. It's just do a little thing over here." And it's so much better. Like once you find your dentist or doctor, you got to stick with them. Because the last doctor was like, "You need $18,000 worth of dental work."
Oh my God.
Like that's what's going on with my teeth.
Yeah, I know. And I have a friend, and she grew up in Southeast Texas and had her dentist. She had the same dentist that she went to, I think, every 6 months for checkups and things like that. Well, she moved to Houston, and she went to a dentist, and next thing you know, she's in a surgery, and she couldn't go to work for like 3 weeks because she had like such major surgery. And I was like, what happened? She was like, well, I went to this new dentist, and they told me my teeth were very bad. And they were like, they told me that I was like in danger, like in health danger. And so, yeah, they went through the full procedure, and she was like, nobody has ever told me. She said, I go to regular checkups, and they always tell me everything looks good. She was like, I went to this person, and they said that I had a real threat. And
it sucks because you trust them. You don't know you need to pay
Exactly.
thousands of dollars of treatment.
Man, medicine in general is just so crazy because you run up these freaking medical bills. And I mean, even I had surgery on my face, and I'm still paying on it, and it's like, man, it's just ridiculous that everything costs so much. And you go to checkups, sad. And each checkup is, if it's like for a specialist, it's ridiculous, ridiculous amount, and everything adds up. And
we went to the ER. I went to the ER, got a chest X-ray. I think it cost me $850.
Holy
But back
crap.
in the Philippines, I got an X-ray. It was like $8.
What?
Just a big difference.
Holy crap,
in everything.
That's ridiculous. Yeah, man, America's
it's got its what healthcare does need to work on.
Yeah.
And clear pricing. I think now you can actually get an itemized cost of everything. You can kind of like, I don't want that or that. What is this? And they'll like, oh, it's $200 cheaper now.
Right. I know. I had a friend that went to the doctor, and he works with me, and he asked for an itemized receipt, and I think they gave him one, and they charged him like $200 for gauze.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like, what? He was like, what did you use gauze for? And they were like,
just in case we needed it.
Yeah. And he said they didn't even use gauze.
That's
horrible. I was like, what?
That's horrible.
Yeah. So you definitely have to watch it. Freaking, I don't know. What would you call that? I mean, it wouldn't be big pharma. It wouldn't be just corporations, I guess. And just
healthcare overcharging.
Healthcare. Yeah. Just healthcare problems. Yeah.
All the medical bills.
Well, how on a scale of 1 to 10, how hungry are you?
I'm getting more hungry. Pretty hungry.
How do you want to get there? We could either A, Uber, or B, take one of our rides.
Yeah.
I checked Uber earlier. It's probably a 15-minute ride, and I think it's probably $15.
All right, let's do that. Let's do that.
Let's do it. Yeah. All righty. Well, folks, thank you for tuning in to the Space Jumper podcast. My boy, Jeremy Fermo. Follow him at Beaumont Foodie, at 3 Bros Running. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
With a 3, with a numeral 3.
Number 3, yeah. And I'm sure this won't be the last time that we run this. So cheers to everybody. Happy 4th of July. 4th of July was a couple days ago.
Stars.
Yeah.
All the stars.
Also, my birthday is next week. So I'm taking off, and I'm hoping to produce more podcasts. So till next time, guys. See you.